I have a confession to make. I used to think that I was too busy for self-care, and I'm sure that at one point or another you probably felt the same way. Because in our fast-paced society, it's so easy to get wrapped up in the quest to check off all of the boxes on our never-ending to-do lists that taking care of ourselves becomes an afterthought, or maybe even something that doesn't make the list at all. But the thing about self-care is that it works best when we make it a daily habit rather than something that we push off until the last minute. And there are always small windows of opportunity to make space in our routine to do things that help us recharge our batteries and cultivate balance in our lives. So that's why today I'm sharing this list of 8 simple self-care habits that have made a huge difference in my overall feelings of happiness, self-worth, and well-being, in the hopes that you'll find something that works for you as well. And self-care habit number 1 is the habit of writing or saying daily affirmations. I actually do this twice a day. Once when I wake up in the morning and once before I go to bed at night. And saying daily affirmations has really helped me in so many ways. From landing the job and dream salary I wanted to overcoming mental blocks that I had about decluttering. And I even used daily affirmations to boost my courage and believe in myself as I started this YouTube channel of mine. And our thoughts have so much more power than we realize or give them credit for. And in psychology, this is known as the cognitive triangle, where our thoughts influence our actions and emotions and vice versa. And positive affirmations can literally help you rewire your brain. And I don't know about you, but my brain needed a whole lot of rewiring back in the day. I've been doing daily affirmations for years and years, and it's one of the best things I've ever done for myself. And it's a habit that takes almost no time at all. And if you haven't made affirmations a part of your life, I would encourage you to try to add them into your daily routine, whether it's saying them out loud or writing them down in a journal, or even thinking them silently inside of your own mind. It doesn't matter how you do them as much as it does the fact that you just do them. And to pick powerful affirmations that align with your values and goals, as well as resonate with you the most. Self-care habit number 2 is to eat well. You know how they say you are what you eat? Well, I used to have terrible eating habits, and that reflected in the way that I felt. When I was in my early 20s, I was juggling a full college course load on top of working 40 hours a week. So a lot of my meals were fast food, and I was also eating them as fast as I could. And after a while, I started to notice how the things that I was eating could make me feel sluggish or grumpy or anxious. And at one point, my hair even started falling out. And through habit journaling, I was able to trace that back to the cause that I wasn't getting enough protein in my diet, which was a huge wake-up call for me. Because my hair is already thin enough, and I don't need to be losing any more. So after that, I started to be more careful with my eating habits, not only by making an effort to eat a well-balanced diet, but also by making it a habit to slow down and appreciate the joy of eating. And I used to think that my life was too busy or too stressful to cook healthy meals and eat well. But over time, what I've come to realize is that planning meals in advance not only helps me feed my family delicious and nutritious meals, but it also, A, lowers my stress around mealtime because I always know what I'm going to be making each meal of the day, and B, it helps me save time and money since I know what meals I'm going to be making and what ingredients I need for those meals. And speaking of saving time and money, another way I've started saving more of both is by ordering meals from HelloFresh, who happen to be the sponsor of today's video. I love HelloFresh because not only is it so much more convenient than going to the grocery store when I'm short on time, but it's also 25% less expensive than takeout. And can we please just talk about these recipe cards? I mean, how adorable are these? I really appreciate how visual they make the recipes and break down the steps of the instructions, because I like reading and making the recipes along with my kids. And another thing I appreciate is how accommodating HelloFresh is for all sorts of diets, so that no matter your lifestyle, that means you're always able to find yummy recipes on the HelloFresh menu, like pescatarian and veggie. And because my oldest son is allergic to peanuts and lentils, I love how quick and easy it is to scan the HelloFresh website and make sure the recipes I pick are allergy safe. And if you're like me and you want to enjoy your summer more and spend less time meal planning and prepping, you'll love HelloFresh's boxes of pre-portioned ingredients that make cooking an absolute breeze and cut down on food waste. Right now, you can go to HelloFresh.com and use the code A to Zen 16 at checkout to get 16 free meals plus free shipping. And I will make sure to leave that code along with the special link down in the description box and pinned comment below for you to check out. I know that eating good food is one of my personal favorite ways to practice self-care, and the time and money I save with HelloFresh is icing on the cake of this sweet, sweet deal. Self-care habit number 3 is to move your body. It's funny because the last habit is my favorite habit on this list, but exercise and moving my body is probably my least favorite habit. But I feel like that makes it even more essential for me to create habits around movement and exercise. Because if I just sit around and wait for motivation, I might be sitting around and waiting forever because my intrinsic motivation is so low that it might as well be zero. But I also know that when I sit around too much and I don't get up and get moving, it drags down so many other aspects of my life. I don't sleep as well, I have a shorter temper, and I start feeling more stressed out and anxious. So since I can't rely on motivation, what I do instead is schedule active time into my daily and weekly routines. I'm also more likely to get moving if it means that I get to get up and do it with my husband. So we have 2 days a week where we give ourselves an hour and a half to go to the gym, and at least one other day where we go out for a nice long walk when the weather is good. And speaking of schedules, that happens to be the next habit on this list, which is to schedule downtime for yourself. I think that in our fast-paced society, it can be easy to get addicted to busyness to the point where we start wearing our busyness like a badge of honor. I know that I used to always complain about how busy I was and how much stuff I had to do in my day until I saw this quote from a therapist that was like a splash of cold water in my face. And what it said was that the things that we complain about most are there to teach us where we need to set better boundaries. And I realized that giving myself time to rest is just as important, if not more important, than being able to get things done. Because if you don't create space for rest and relaxation at some point, you're going to burn yourself out. So I would encourage you to schedule regular relaxation times in your day where you sit and do nothing, or maybe do breathing exercises or meditation, or maybe journaling, because adding in time for rest helps you recharge your physical, mental, and emotional batteries so that you have more energy and bandwidth to live your life and do the things you need to do. Number 5 is to make it a habit to remove visual clutter in your living spaces. You knew it was coming, right? I mean, this is a minimalist lifestyle channel after all. Clearing away visual clutter is an act of self-care because it helps create a calm and peaceful environment. And putting our physical spaces in order can help us reduce feelings of stress and anxiety and make our minds feel clearer and calmer. A few years back, we got rid of 95% of our stuff, and it was one of the best things that we've ever done. And now that we've experienced all of the benefits of minimalism and having the freedom of a highly simplified home, we're very incentivized to keep it that way. So we've made it a habit to declutter our home on a regular basis and set up systems and routines that make it so easy to put things away after we're done using them, which helps keep our home visual clutter free. Our home is so simplified, in fact, that I can declutter the entire thing in under 30 minutes if I want to, and you can watch me demonstrate that in this video that I'll link up here for you if you like. And by the way, if you find value in videos like these, I would love it if you would consider going down and hitting the little red subscribe button and ringing the bell to turn on all notifications to join me here on my channel, where I teach people the A to Z of simplifying their homes and restoring balance to their lives. I look forward to seeing you around. Now on to the next habit. Self-care habit number 6 is to make sleep a priority. Getting a good night's sleep is one of the most important things that you can do for your overall health. Sleep is a time for our bodies to repair, rejuvenate, and recharge. And giving your body enough rest can do things like boost your immune system, improve memory and cognitive functions, and even help combat things like anxiety and weight gain. However, not getting enough sleep can have the opposite effect. And over time, chronic sleep deprivation can lead to all sorts of health issues, as you can see in this chart here. I feel like sleep is one of those things that I didn't truly appreciate until I experienced firsthand the sleep deprivation that goes hand in hand with being a new mom. And now I know how beautiful it truly is to lay down in a cozy bed and sleep through the entire night. So I've really made it a priority to create healthy habits around sleep. Things like making sure to turn off devices and unplug from social media at least 30 minutes before bedtime, and getting into a routine of going to the bed at the same time every night, and keeping your room dark enough and at a comfortable temperature to sleep in. Some people like their room nice and quiet, and some people sleep better when they have gentle fan noises running in the background. And it's all about seeing what works best for you and helps you sleep well enough to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to face the day. Self-care habit number 7 is to set boundaries. I've always been a loyal and helpful person, and my Chinese husband likes to joke that it's because I was born in the year of the dog. And dogs are known to be loyal and always ready to jump up, wagging our tails and ready to help others. But the downside of this is there's always certain kinds of people who take kindness and loyalty as a green light to take advantage of or walk all over you. So that's when setting boundaries becomes not just about self-care, but also about self-preservation. And boundaries are like lines that we draw in the sand to show what's okay and what's not. And having clear boundaries means we're better equipped to protect ourselves from people who would otherwise push us around. So if you are a chronic people pleaser who says yes to everything and everyone at the expense of your own energy and peace of mind, you might need to toggle your default answer from yes to no. And that way you can save your yeses to give to the things and people that fill up your cup instead of constantly drain it. And speaking of which, self-care habit number 8 is to find ways to connect more with the warm relationships in your life. So there's this Harvard study that's been going on since 1938, and it's one of the longest running studies of all time. And what they've been studying is happiness. And what the researchers have found is that what makes us the happiest is surrounding ourselves with people who we have healthy and positive relationships with. I'm an introvert, so I've always struggled with putting myself out there, especially because I have opened up to people or trusted people in the past who took advantage of or hurt me very, very deeply. But even though opening up and making ourselves vulnerable can be scary, not doing so can be even scarier. And in fact, the current director of the Harvard study says that research suggests that loneliness can be just as destructive as addictive behaviors like smoking or drinking. What I can tell you from firsthand experience is that it's a lot easier to build warm and positive relationships in your life if you first take the time to build a warm and positive relationship with yourself. And all of the habits on this list are things that I slowly built up over time, and many of them are things that I'm still working on to this day. And if you want to hear more about some of the best resources that I used to change my life for the better, make sure to go check out this video, or I'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.